And what a great atmosphere here at the Parramatta Stadium for this cup final between St George and Balmain. All the players are very, very nervous. So are the coaches. This will be a great game. Yeah, the players are very, very nervous. They were in the rooms and we're underway. The nerves will be gone soon. St George start proceedings for this cup final. And Gary Jack picks it up and gets almost to the quarter line. Before he's put down, these first few hits will be enormous. Watch them. St George forwards moving up as one. Craig Young in there to make the tackle. Now look at Roach. Win there to put him down. So was Osborne. 32 metres out from the Balmain line. Elias, a little dummy, made about 5 metres. Sirenen, a dummy half. Neil, his kick was a horror. Right on the halfway mark. Now Craig Young, nowhere to go. Well, he's bumped off one. Still going and lost the ball. Picked up as Balmain turned defence into attack, but Parrish's pass has been knocked down. And Bert Gordon dived on it, but couldn't hang on to it. So the butterfly is still churning as the scrum, the first one of the match of this cup final, goes down on halfway. Work by Neil. It's gone with the feed. Tries to go blindside. Defence too strong. Robinson dummy half. But the penalty has gone to Balmain. St George up inside the 5 metres.
Very interesting so early on too, Bear. I've already kept my eye on Steve Roach and Craig Young. They came together out that last scrum. Plenty said between Young and big Steve Roach. That's where this game, as I mentioned, could be won.
Ross Conlon 6 metres inside the St George half. First opportunity to put points on the board. Misses it. Just wide.
And failed to kick it dead.
Was a fair way up. So Gordon will play it. And now Walford. And the penalty this time goes to St George.
Well, that's what I say about the critical importance. A goal kicker's got to estimate whether he can get the distance and whether he can kick the ball dead. And he miscalculated on that occasion. He slipped slightly as he went in to approach the kick too. But St George are out with the ball. They're up to halfway nearly. And 6 to go.
So it's Bailey who will bring it up and take the tap, and Walford takes the first pass. He's about 3 metres short of halfway. Right on the halfway mark now as Wynn played it. It's back for Fullerton Smith. Penalty again to St George.
Maguire, the man that's penalised there. We see it on the Panasonic Cup replay. Getting up and knocking the ball out of the hand of the St George player. Wynn to take the kick for touch.
There's Teddy Glossop, and his daughter, Suella, is in DY Hospital tonight. Watching. Keep our fingers crossed for you. And the Saints have it. Just outside the Balmain quarter. Craig Young. There they are again. This will be a great battle tonight between these two. Here's Osborne. Less experienced, but pretty tough. Just inside the quarter now, the Saints. Bailey dummy half. Gill. 12 metres out. Pressure now for Balmain as St George swing it out to Wynn. Last tackle for the Saints. Bailey puts this one high in the air. Pressure now for Gary Jack. Up he goes. The ball is loose. Saints come up with it. It's gone out for Walford. And it goes to Robinson. Robinson's in the corner to score. And the St George flags are flying.
Well, a magnificent try to St George. That really was quick thinking. The referee, Stone, has had a good look at the bomb. He deduced everybody was onside. He deduced the ball was knocked down by a Balmain player, which we see probably was. Then we see the quick ball out there from Osborne out to number 5 there, Ricky Walford. He gave it away to Robinson on the run round, and that was an excellently thought out try. The idea of giving the ball immediately from Walford was perfect. He didn't move an inch, he just dived and gave the ball. And that was the way the try came up. It was a first-class bit of work, a first-class bit of thinking.
Look at that angle. So Walford, right from the touchline, almost from the other grandstand, puts it high in the air. Touch judges are looking closely. It's there. What a great kick. Oh, Ricky Walford, what a magic kick that was from the touchline. And the Saints go to a 6-0 lead over the Tigers.
Neil, Conlon, straight across field. Right in midfield. And on the 22 of the Saints. Brooks tripped as he went into that tackle. Elias with dummies. Now Roach. Craig Young bounces him to the ground. Very easy penalty. Silly from St George. Yes, 2 points is vital in cup final football.
Wally Fullerton-Smith has earned the ire of the crowd. You can see why. He just won't let him go. Stephen Roach was prepared to get to his feet quickly. This bloke who should know better, and certainly should know better than give a penalty away in that position.
Conlon. No mistake. So St George still with the upper hand, 6-2 over Balmain.
Just inside the Saints half now, Elias getting away to Roach, and then on to Conlon.
St George just aren't spreading enough in defence. When the pass goes 1 and 2 wide from Balmain, they're catching them short.
And that kick for touch from McNeil was a beauty.
Yes, that was a beautiful right foot kick. Made about an 18-20 metre gain for him. Real good one.
So the scrum down on the St George quarter. It'll be a St George feed. Clark works the scrum. Against the feed, Neil came up with it. Now Davidson. And here's the penalty to Balmain. Again. This time it's Gill.
Yes, well, let's have a look at the Panasonic Cup replay here. And he was moving up a little bit too quickly there.
Conlon. Big angle. Hits it particularly well, and the touch judges don't move. Up go the flags. And the Tigers are back in it. They now trail only by 2 points. It's St George 6 and Balmain 4.
Hectic pace, mistakes coming from both sides in the handling department. The kick from Benny Elias. Both hookers trying to take the short angles out of the dummy half position with their kicks. Walford bringing it back. Billy, this time last year you were sitting on the sideline rather nervously as the coach of the Tigers. A tremendous pace.
It sure is, Graeme. I feel a bit more comfortable this year than I did at this stage last year, but he's a great break by...
Well, here goes Johnston. He looks for Walford. He's found him. A try to St George out of nothing. Absolutely from nothing. Balmain just came apart. Terrific try for St George.
A magnificent try, yes. Nothing that we can say will make it sound any better. There was the beautiful stepping and footwork of Brian Johnston, who got himself into the clear, unloaded a pass perfectly to Walford, who was well inside his man Davidson there. Neil's the only cover defender. The Balmain side were bereft of defence there. It was a switch of play by Bailey. Johnson wrong-foots Benny Elias beautifully and then accelerates away from a support. There's a tackle coming in, but it's too late because Walford's got it and he can motor. Let me tell you, this bloke really knows how to run. And there he is, a beautifully balanced runner, comes in and then goes away to make sure of his angle. Johnson again, look at that beautiful step and the acceleration. Jack's the man that finally gets to him. He offloads it beautifully. It comes to Walford around about head high, takes it very comfortably, no drama. Just a conventional wing three-quarter try as far as he's concerned.
Now Walford, can he repeat the dose from out wide? Strikes it well, just fading across the goal mouth. St George off to a great start in the cup final of 88, 10-4 over Balmain.
18 metres out from the St George line. Elias is time to Pearce. Pearce is able to offload to Parrish. Looks for support. There's Elias. Tried to duck under the tackle, Elias. Will play it just 11 metres out. Roach steaming onto the football. 5 metres out. Last tackle now for Balmain. Back for Elias. The bomb, a high kick from Elias. Pressure now, up they go for it and taken by Beattie beautifully. Well, he jumped high above everybody else, Michael Beattie.
Yes, that was a beautiful mark by Beattie. Really was a first-class effort. The Panasonic Cup replay really showed him at his best there. But he and Johnson are the definitive answer, as far as I'm concerned, to club centres. They're very, very good.
So St George now trying to get out of the danger area through Craig Young this time. Bill, they hung on well on that occasion, but I really do believe that Balmain can stretch them out wide.
Yes, they can, Graham. They're looking to get the ball there also with these switches of play back across the ruck. The St George defence is held fairly well, but what they've got to ensure they mustn't do, and Rex has already mentioned it, is they just can't keep giving away penalties because Balmain haven't got a long kicking game. The only way they're getting down into St George's quarter is by getting penalties to get there.
Well, this is one man that can get them back downfield. Brought down well on this occasion by Gill. Gary Jack now. Robinson on the run around. Pearce. Pressure pass for Gardner. Walford was sweating on it. Elias handles that ball well. Out it goes for Davidson. Takes on Brett Clark. Good tackle from the St George halfback. Now they've got the numbers stretched out wide. Maguire charges on. Beattie tries to read it and cut it off. The ball's still alive. Conlon. Jack on the intercept. Away goes Gordon. Under the dot. Right under the post. They tried to force the pass, but look at this. Oh, what a celebration for the Saints.
Panasonic Cup replay will just show exactly how that came about. It was Balmain really exerting some pressure now. They've got the defence coming up trying to snap the ball and step the movement dead. But they move it out wide here. Here's Jack going across, throws the pass intended for the wing three-quarter Robinson, and away goes Gordon. Now, Gordon's, I don't know how fast he is, but he didn't need to be fast on that occasion. All he did was take an intercept and have nobody in front of him, so I can guess that any wing three-quarter worth his salt is going to be able to make an impression. We'll see him get the ball about now. Here's Conlon away to Jack. Jack throws it, and here comes Gordon in. There's nobody in front of him. He just goes for a stroll, and that's all he's doing. He doesn't really look as though he's pressed for pace at all there. Brooks has made an effort to get to him, but he can't. And he canters over there about 15 metres, 20 metres in front of everybody. Great stuff.
May not ever score a more important one for St George. And right in the most important position of all, under the black dot for his wing three-quarter partner, Ricky Walford, from right in front. Rubbing more salt into the wound at this stage. St George in the cup final, the Saints 16-4 over Balmain. Neal, Maguire. Better pass back infield for Neal. Over the top, it was touched by the Saints. 6 more. Pearce. Robinson. Great opportunity for the Tigers. Inside the last minute before halftime. Can they score? Roach. Dummies. Dummies again, but they didn't take the second one. Cole's been shouted out by Ben Elias. Neal. Conlon. Jack. Over the top. Maguire fumbled it. They had a two-man overlap and a try was looking good in the corner.
It was looking good until Maguire got his hands to it and knocked it away. That was the problem. Look at this. Panasonic Cup replay. He only had to just take that ball fairly easily, conventional stuff. And there was a try at the end of that. He couldn't handle it. The pressure starting to really tell.
Inside the last 10 seconds, Craig Young copying a caution here. Should be the end of play unless the penalty's going to go towards Balmain. Well, the siren has sounded. Mick Stone hasn't heard it. Now he has.
Well, here was the incident. It's Craig Young and Roach at it again for a bit of a time. He's holding him down there and won't let him up. But the halftime break sees St George leading by the comfortable margin of 16 points to 4, and they've scored 3 tries.
This is the vital quarter, Bill, the third.
Yes, it sure is, but St George with that 16-4 lead can probably feel fairly comfortable, provided they don't let Balmain score quickly. But Graham, I can't agree with St George's tactics of this short kicking game. All they're doing is getting a scrum and Balmain invariably winning it with the head and the feet. They'd be better to kick long and get a territorial gain.
Well, that pass looked a mile forward back in field again to Roach.
We find ourselves in agreement.
Oh,
here.
Well, I can't continue it, but it was forward. They're still with the ball, the Tigers, keeping the pressure on Robinson. Inside the 10 metres. Last tackle. He goes the blind, Neal. Out it goes wide. Jack kicks into the in goal. He was impaired. He was interfered with. Mick Stone's going to award the penalty. Now, I'm going to say if the try had have come from that, it all goes back to the pass, well back to Roach, which was a mile forward.
Now, there it was, the action, and there's Jack trying to get to the ball. He doesn't get to the ball, but he was interfered with slightly, so the penalty has gone to Balmain. They've taken a quick tap.
And the pressure's still on. Elias. Sheridan bounced Clark out of the way. They've lost the ball, off the boil, and it will pack down a scrum.
I see a St George player getting ready, Bill.
Mark Blackburn, wearing number 17, will be taking the place of Graeme Hughes with instructions of tackle, tackle, and then tackle some more.
Okay, here's Neil. Getting it back to Gardner. Again, the mistake from Balmain. And still, David Brooks won't come off the field. Now they'll do it.
Yes, well, the Panasonic Cup replay showed the ball changing hands there. Bailey from St George apparently came up with it, but lost it again, so the scrum goes down, but it's St George's feed.
Still searching for this try, the Tigers. Gary Jack. The defence from St George has been outstanding. Neil. Robinson's come in field looking for the ball. Gardner. Good ball away to Robinson. That seemed to go forward again there to Davidson. He's lost it. Clark straight across field, trying to get to the outside of Elias. He does that. He links up now with Robinson. Out to Gordon. Great play from both teams. Really are entertaining the crowd, keeping this ball alive. Frantic football, maybe. But Balmain in a situation where they have to force the pass. St George don't. Here's Osborne. Knocked down, knocked backwards, and Hardwick's going to retrieve possession. They're the passes that St George don't need. 18, the handling errors from the Tigers. Incredible. Benny Elias out of dummy half. Roach. Another change for Balmain, Bill.
John Davidson coming from the field, replaced by Michael Moss in 14.
Elias out of dummy half once more. Dummies his way through. Desperate defence there from Craig Young. The chant goes up for the Tigers. Jack, Robinson, Gardner. He looked for Davidson. He had gone infield. Last tackle. Just one more tackle for St George to hang on. Conlon, the kick across field. No real pressure. He took the kick. Very cleverly taken by Michael Beattie.
Yes, the old pro, highly professional. Beattie took the ball, stood his ground there, and claimed the fair catch. He's going to come out to the quarter line.
Bailey now. So Moss is out there now for John Davidson. On the wing in 14. So Gill now hitting that ball up. Blackburn, one of the freshest players on the field, be called on to do a lot of work for the Saints. Out to halfway. They've been camped in their own territory for some time. They need a long kick downfield. Graeme Hughes is their biggest kicker. He's been replaced, remember. Out of dummy half from Bailey. Straight across field for Robinson. Tries to beat the defence. Nearly did, but into touch.
That's one way to get the scrum feed, isn't it? Gee whiz. You know, kick the ball and tackle your opponent and put him over the sideline so you get the scrum feed. Frantic defence with St George there.
Gill picked that up from the lock forward position. The backs for St George now really called upon to do some work to lighten off the load for their forwards. Beattie's lost it. He's been called on to play the ball. So the scrum's going to go down with a few minutes before the end of the third quarter. More pressure still to be handled by St George. 16-4. Neil. Conlon. Jack. Gets to the outside of his man. The overlap for the Tigers. The dummy from Parrish. Inside the quarter line. The Tigers searching for this try. Can they get it? Maguire. Back it goes to Pearce. Gardner. Moss to the corner. Will he get there? They've been searching for it for 3 quarters. They've finally got it. Just too much pressure from Balmain. The Saints couldn't hang on.
Yes, we'll see it again on the Panasonic Cup replay. This is a real stretch. They're really moving the ball out wide. Conlon, away she goes out there to Maguire. Maguire turns and gives it back on the inside to Pearce, who makes the injection. He gets it away to Gartner. Gartner cleverly pulls Walford to him and gets it away to Moss. Moss comes inside Johnston and takes Moore's tackle and scores a fair try. Neil, the long cutout pass to Conlon, a different angle we're looking at this time. Away to Maguire, back on the inside to Pearce, the workhorse. Away across there to Gartner. Gartner quickly shoveled it straight out there to Moss, and Moss evaded one tackle and goes in and scores a very, very good try. A critical try at a critical time.
And what a critical replacement from Warren Ryan to have Moss out there. The crowd certainly knows that we've got a gripping last 20 on our hands as well. Here's the angle for him. He's pushed it away. So a bit of breathing space at the end of the third quarter still for St George. 16-8 over the Tigers.
22,191 people here tonight for this cup final.
It's a great crowd.
And a great cup final. Maguire, good ball away to Pearce. Here they come again, Balmain. Knocked backwards was the pass. Walford will race away with it. He could link up with his supports. Dumbing back infield. Sirenen comes across to pick him up.
He's had a big game, Sirenen. Particularly in defence.
Gordon slips away down the touchline. Beating tackles, 10 metres out now, St George. The Saints fans start up the chant. They want another try to try and wrap up this cup final. Blackburn 8 metres out. Here they are cheering them on. Out wide, Clark jinking. Well, it's a baseball throw out to Walford. He can't handle it. He beats Moss, straightens up. Still inside the quarter.
Clark won't get a game with the Dodgers.
Back to Clark. Field goal attempt.
He gets one from behind there.
Underneath it goes. They really didn't need the field goal, though, St George. They need to stay down here. Maybe a kick into the end goal. Ted Glossop with some more news. Trying to send some messages out for St George players.
They've got to put something on here. Dear, oh dear, this panic stuff, and they've lost the football again. Dear, oh dear, on the first tackle, Walford comes up with it. Oh, frustration for the Balmain supporters.
They've got an opportunity to move it wide now.
Look at Blackburn in to make the extra man. But the Balmain defence is good this time on Johnson. Sirenen up there to read it well. Put him down. The Saints have it just inside the Balmain half. Bert Gordon runs into a bit of trouble. Steady, boys, steady. Now the Saints. Oh dear, beautifully picked up by Beattie.
And lost.
Lost it though, unfortunately. But that was a magic piece of reflex football.
Come on, there was nothing illegal about the tackle. He's got to get to his feet, but we've seen the great pick-up by Beattie there. And the loss of the football. Now Moss is appealing to the crowd. I mean, he's been up and down, but it wasn't a spear tackle. And the referee is quite right to disregard it and get somebody else on with the action.
Well, now the Tigers, as Conlon gives it to Jack. Back to Neil. Stumbling as he's tackled, just short of the halfway mark. We've got 8 minutes to go. As Conlon runs across field, trying to give an inside pass for Clint Robinson, but the defence was too good. They read it well. That was Blackburn again who made that tackle. Here's Neil getting it out to Maguire. An overhead pass for Parrish. Trying to find his way through a gap that was non-existent. St George's defence has been first class. Gee, they've worked well, the defensive players in this St George side. Now, again, misunderstanding in the Balmain side as Gartner was forced to take it on his own. Back to Parrish. His kick. They're trying everything, Balmain. But little Brett Clark jumped up and took it well. Moss is back on his feet. He's okay. As St George via Clinton Moore bring it out. 7 minutes to go. We've got a scoreline of 16-8. St George lead by 8 points. They are well on their way to winning their first cup final. Penalties gone to Saints. That'll help their cause.
Yes, that was the reason for it. The Panasonic Cup replay. The ball stolen from him by Sirenen. They've had a little bit of a tong war all night, these two. Sirenen, I think, has been particularly strong in defence for the Balmain side.
Clark's able to find touch with that penalty. Now the restart from Bailey on the halfway mark. Here's Bert Gordon. Again, I repeat, St George only need to take it up very, very safely as the minutes are starting to tick by. Look at Craig Young. Good run. Oh, he's lost the ball. It's a good barging run from Albert. Here's Gary Jack on to Sirinen. Sirinen almost into a break. We've got another change in the Balmain side, Bill.
Michael Moss coming off. Peter Camero in 15 will be taking his place.
Camero for Moss in the Tigers lineup. They've got the football 5 metres from halfway. Here's Neal getting it on to Conlon. Just inside the St George half. Now Neal again to Parrish. St George defence again equal to the occasion. Parrish can't find a way through there. Elias get it on to Roach. Then on to Conlon. Quick hands to Pearson. Now on to Michael Moss. Last tackle for Balmain. Neal to Sirinen. The little kick ahead from Sirinen trying to regain. He's kicked it again. Getting across was more. Sirinen's kicked it into touch though. So we have 5 minutes of the Panasonic Cup final remaining.
Yes, Sirinen showed his ability at soccer here. He kicked it 3 times actually before the ball finally went over the sideline. It was a very good performance by him. We only saw the last 2, but that gets them up near the St George line. But it's a St George feed, and it's a penalty now from this set scrum. Hardwick's come round, and he was judged to have broken from the scrum too quickly. And there was the reason for it.
So St George now with 4 minutes to kill in the cup final. They've just got to keep the play steady. A lot of running from dummy half. One good kick downfield. A big set of 6 tackles in defence should win the cup for them. They still have the 8-point break. They need to score twice, Balmain. Clark. Crowd of over 22,000 really supporting the Saints now. There's the kick they need downfield. They need plenty of chasers. Here they come. Gary Jack. Can he produce a miracle for the Tigers? He does. He managed to get away the ball to Camero. St George after their first cup. This is the 4th cup final in a row. An appearance in a cup final by the Tigers. Pearce tries to set them alight. Quick ball away from Robinson. Parrish. Then to Conlon. Again, great defence at the finish by the Saints. Nothing left for Balmain to swing it again. Hardwick. Straight up the middle. They were in the cup final in 85. They won it. They lost in 86. They bounced back to win it in 87. Maguire. 3 minutes now. Roach disagrees with the decision from Mick Stone. Threw the ball away in disgust.
Yeah, Steve Roach showing his disgust there on the Panasonic Cup replay. There was a pass given after he'd been called to play the ball, and there's Roach throwing the ball down. It's a wonder it didn't deflate.
So the cup final is virtually gone. Gone to St George way, and as you were saying, Bear, they've met 7 times now in the Panasonic Cup, and they just can't.
They can't do it.
They can't do it, Balmain.
Just have the solitary win.
And for your delectation, the Bear is now going to sing the Saints Go Marching In.
No, we won't spoil. We won't spoil a great cup final.
Oh, come on.
Bailey. 2 minutes to go. Clark. Ball looked a touch forward to Gill. Killing time, St George. They went into the cup final as underdogs. And another penalty goes their way. Benny Elias pulled his arms away. I think he heard the call.
Well, that'll be the ball game, I would think. There's Benny Elias come in and reefs the ball out, but of course the referee had called play it. Well, James Koneski in the Wandon Valley Hospital, very sick. He's seen his team win.
It doesn't matter. There's the kick. Jack will just run it out. The siren has sounded. Still in play, the ball from the Tigers. Jack was knocked down after he kicked it. This will bring about a penalty. And it makes one wonder, though, if it's needed. The game is over. They can't score the points needed. Neil keeps it alive. They're not going to give up the Tigers. Beattie will just dive on it. That's it. An upset victory to St George. The Panasonic Cup final of '88 goes to the red and whites. They did it so well. 3 tries to 1, but more than that, their defence at times was outstanding.
Craig Young leads the victorious St George side to the presentation area. For the first time, St George have won the Panasonic Cup. Moving up to the victory dais to be met by John McGuirk, the Australian sales manager for Panasonic, Ken Arthurson, the Australian Rugby League chairman, and Bob Condon, New South Wales sales manager for Panasonic. And here it is, the Panasonic Cup.